Let's go.
All right, we got a new model that's going to start on, especially on Fridays, and people can like it or not. And this is just the way it's going to be: start on time, end on time. So that's what we're going to do. So the people who choose to come in late because it's that realtor time, that's okay. Fantastic. We're not going backwards. We're going to keep moving forward. Our time is valuable. We're here on time, and I know life happens, and some people can get in traffic and all this other stuff. I'm here on time for the call. Debbie's here on time for the call. Every one of you are here on time for the call. So I want to dig right in, and I wanted to talk about real stuff today. All right, and then Debbie's gonna. I didn't even collaborate with Debbie, Claire, or Curtis on this and say, hey, here's some of the subject for tomorrow. So here's a blind side. You got a snippet of this morning. But here's what Debbie, all of us coaches can do, and we can adapt quickly with our knowledge, our wisdom, and our experiences, and also DJ into this, right? So I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and they said, I got a niche. I said, where did you get it from? He goes, oh, DJ, it was a niche. He kept saying niche. I'm like, it's niche. It's a niche, itchy, nichey. I don't know. He goes, so now I have my niche. And I said, fantastic. Where'd you get it from? Well, learning from what DJ tells us. So there's effective things that are happening on these calls. So by being here on time, you're going to get everything up front and some at the end, right? So you come in late, leave early, you miss all the meat and potatoes. So I'm going to talk about procrastination today. Procrastination is poison. And I was on a call yesterday, and some of you that were on there will understand this. And he goes, listen, when I'm paying $2,300 a call for my coaching call, if I'm late, I start at the time and it's only 20 minutes. So yes, $2,300 for 20 minutes. If he's a minute late, he misses a minute. It doesn't go 20 minutes once he gets on the call. It starts at a time and ends at a time. If he misses the call, it's $2,300. Procrastination. Stop procrastinating on being on time, number one. So 7 things, and this is an article that I got from Inman, by the way, guys, and it hit me when I read it, because there's 7 things that agents have to put off, 7 things agents put off far too long. I hear it every day. I talk to a lot of agents. We all talk to a lot of agents. Agents are struggling. You know why they're struggling? Here's why they're struggling. You ready? They're not doing the work. So my heart breaks for them, but our heart is in it to help them. They have a choice, right? It's procrastination. So 7 things agents have put off far too long. They're not updating their profiles, their business profiles, their Google pages, their Zillow pages, their Realtor.com pages. You got plenty of time. Get in there and spend 10 to 15 minutes a day. The real estate business is an if-then business. If you do certain things, then you expect certain results. But the busyness of the business puts agents at a state of procrastination for essential items they know they should act on. See, every single day, we know what we need to do. We just don't do it. We look for every darn excuse to get in the way of what we need to do. There's a lot of times I'm in that boat too, guys, a lot, but I'm not in it as often as the other 85% of the population. I guarantee I fall in the 15%. I don't call it an 80-20 anymore. I think it's more of an 85-15, right, Deep? 15% of the people doing 85% of the business, because the other 85% are sitting there hoping and praying that someone calls them with a buyer or a seller. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. So get in there and start doing the things that you need to do. Or, okay, here's one. You know what I did? I eliminated 11,000 people from my database last week. It's a disgusting mess. It's like walking into a listing appointment that's cluttered with, pack ratted, what do you call them, people that have stuff everywhere, right? Hoarders. Okay, so your database is a hoarder. How do you walk into a listing appointment that's a hoarder and go, holy cow, I can't sell this house like this. You can't even see the floor of the walls. Got your database. You got to clean up your database. You got to get in there and you got to communicate with it. So here's what I heard yesterday from a top team coach directly from some of the top coaches in the industry said this. If you're sending one piece of email per month, you're missing opportunities. He said, when I went from once a month to 8 a month, every 2 weeks, 2 a week, his open increase rated went from 15 to 20% to over 50%. He said, you have to have content. It has to be short, sweet, and good content. He said, one of those weekly emails has to be some kind of video. It could be a video on the market, a market update every single week. Believe it or not, is huge for people. They want to hear about it. Oh my gosh, the Fed lowered the rates. Now's a great time to buy. We have a little bit more inventory to choose from versus last year. So the rates are a little bit higher, but guess what? You get to choose what you want. And if you wait another 6 months, the market's saying it's still going to go up 5 to 10%. So you're really going to be paying more and your affordability will shrink. Are you doing a quick little video? And one of the things that he said was pretty interesting, keep it under a minute. Keep it under 45 seconds, anywhere from 0 seconds to 40 to 45 seconds. It's all you need. Do a market update. Today, there was 17 new listings on the market. 5 came back on the market, 10 expired, something. Do something of video. And you know what? We have our cell phones today are almost like perfect video, like it was in the 80s for movies or 90s, right? So stop procrastinating and do it. I made stars, guys. I have stars for this to be implemented immediately. Okay. So
Tom, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So what are you committing to around video?
So I send out 3 per week. Honestly, I send out 3 emails per week. As far as video goes, I'm going to commit to one of those being video weekly. And as you guys notice and seen, I've been sending out videos to a lot of the agents down through BombBomb, because I have BombBomb. And some are opening it, some are not. Some are opening it and watching a part of it versus the whole thing. So I'm learning that I got to keep it shorter. So my accountability is going to be at least 1 per week, under a minute.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to doing that 1 video a week?
And I'm doing it. It's already being implemented and it's in my calendar. Not only is it in my calendar, my VA that I just hired as well also has direct responsibility to make sure it goes out once a week. So guess what? He's asking me for the video.
So when you say you've committed to it and it's in your calendar, is the scripting and the recording and the editing of the video, or just the date that it's going to go out?
Just the date it's going to go out. So guess what? I got to work on what kind of content is going to go out. So if you wing it, you're going to get winging it results, right? So I got to come up with content. What's the content I'm going to send out to this portion of my database? What's the content I'm going to send out to this portion? Because remember, I do a lot of recruiting. So what's the content I'm going to send out to recruits? What's the content I'm going to send out to my database of past clients and consumers, right? So I'll do either a market report or something for the consumer, and for the recruits, I'm going to do our success story. See, I'm talking about our success, not what EXP offers. Oh my gosh, our cap is lower than yours. No, they don't give a crap. They want to hear about success. What's different here? See, our agents are producing more. See, when the report comes out that George is going to put out, and he wanted to do it, and I was getting ready to do it. He's like, hold on, I'm going to do it. I said, all right. So the GPS year to date has closed 1.2 billion up to the end of May. 1.2 billion. Our agents are closing almost 50% more than the national average. True statement, right? So we have the data to prove it. Our agents are closing 50% more than the national average. Closed over 1.1 billion year to date. And we are a listing organization. We sell more listings than we do buyer sides. We are running a business. We're not paying Zillow for our operation. See, so thank you, Deb.
Can I ask you another question? So I love that you have, we talk about GPS, goals, priorities, and strategies. And the goal that you stated was to send out one video per week. And yet there are tasks. And I think a lot of times as agents, we put the goal on the calendar and not the priority or the strategies. So you just said to me that in order to send those videos out, you have to come up with the content. And I think a lot of times the why we procrastinate is what we put on the like, get ready for an open house. Well, to get ready for an open house, if we don't have the listing, we have to call an agent. If we have a listing, we have to call the seller. We have to make sure that we have our market analysis done for door knocking. We have to schedule the door knocking. We have to make sure that we have water or cookies or whatever. Like, there's quite a few tasks in order to be able to do an open house this weekend. And I think where we fall into procrastination is we put the goal on the calendar, kind of forgetting that there's quite a few strategies that we have to execute on in order to get there. So when it gets to Friday morning and we've not called a seller, we've not called another agent yet to set up the open house, we haven't double checked our signs to make sure that we have our signs ready to go. We've not gone and done any comps to door knocking. And then we just say, I'm busy today. I'm showing property, right? So Tom, I'm going to ask you, in order to make those videos, you said you needed to come up with content and then you needed to record them. So do you think it might help you to schedule those on your calendar? Like, in other words, Monday, spend 30 minutes coming up content for the 2 videos, maybe shots, maybe some scripts, maybe some bullet points. So on Tuesday, you can record them, and whether you edit them or your VA edits them, on Tuesday, you're then getting them to your VA who has time to edit, even if you're not. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So now what are you committing to, Tom?
So here's the thing, Deb, thank you for saying that. So we take our talents for granted of what our knowledge is and our talent is. We have so much knowledge and content from being in the industry as long as we have. We're not sharing it enough with the people to make a difference for them, right? So we can create more validity for ourselves based on our knowledge and our experience, right? So we've been through 3 market corrections. Some of us have been through more than 3. I've been through 3 personally in real estate, right? So market corrections. Who better to speak on the last 3 market corrections and succeeded through it than someone who's going through it? Is that some content? Absolutely. Someone who has thrived in lead generation through for sale by owners and expires. I can speak on that and do a video on it because I succeeded at it. Guys, I was taking over 50 listings a year calling for sale by owners and expireds. And you know what? The average sale price was $85,000 to $90,000. You know what? We got paid. You know, I had my first check from my first commission, and you guys are out there crying about a $5,000 check when mine was like 900. So come on, let's move on. I mean, you make $80,000, $90,000 a year in the real estate business. You're crushing the income level in your local area. Guess what? It only takes closing 8 sales, 9 sales. You know, stop crying about it and get out there and do the darn work. We had to, so to go back, you know, how does an agent sell 50 homes a year? Get off your butt and make phone calls. Seriously, that's your database, your contact. So when you're calling your database, it's not just business, it's relationship. See, the relationship part is taken away from the business, and the reason you don't follow up with your database is because you're embarrassed to call them because you haven't made any contact with them, and now you need that. That's where Deb drilled me on my stuff. I was prepared because I have all my notes. Okay, I have it in my calendar. I made a commitment. There was 3 things I made a commitment on that I've been procrastinating on. Guys, I don't like doing videos. I don't look like the same person that I see in the mirror. And that just happens with life, right? You're like, oh, I got a little bit of a double chin. How do I stick that thing up there? You know, or I'm doing a video and I'm like this, and my wife like, how come you're doing it that way? Your face looks round. Who cares? Who cares? So that was not a limited belief. It was a thing that I just didn't want to do. I'm like,
hey, Tom,
yeah.
let me jump in here and say, I did my first video a couple of years ago, several years ago. I said, I don't like the way I look. And the photographer, the videographer guy, who was about 12, said, well, that's how you look. So there you go.
That's right. You know what? Here's the thing. The person that you see in a photo may not, you personally may not see that same person, because we have this age perception still, right? We get to a certain, like I have this age perception where I don't see all gray hair when I look in the mirror. I see still some dark hair, but the reality is, yeah, our bodies change, our faces change, our voices change, but our knowledge is valuable. So it's about the content, not about the photo or the video, right? What's the content coming out? So that was a really, really tough one for me to overcome.
Tom, I'm gonna burst your bubble even further.
All right, here we go.
Your head is round, your chin does look that way. And when people meet you, they see that. So we may as well be our authentic selves. I don't like my voice on video. I don't like the way my hair looks. I just finished a 90 shorts and 90-day challenge, just a personal challenge to get comfortable with video. And I had quite a few days where I recorded video with no makeup. Because if I'm going to commit to doing video regularly, and I see Mel Robbins do it, and I'm like, well, she can do it coming out of the gym and sweaty and red-faced and icky looking, then so can I. Guess what? When people meet me at the grocery store, I might not have makeup on. So I just committed to doing it, right? If people don't like the way I have a double chin, or the fact that my neck's all wrinkly here, or that I got wrinkles in my forehead, they're not going to do business with me anyway. So they may as well just keep walking if they're going to have judgment on that. So I love that you're just saying, you know, get it. Video is the great communicator. You know, email is great. I had someone walk up to me at a local event when I was a team leader and I was recruiting aggressively, and I was emailing like crazy. I wasn't doing video, but I was emailing video. And this was 2012, before anybody was really doing video. I was doing it. I had someone make a beeline for me across the room with the, hey friend face on. Hey friend, hi, like, good to see you again. And I know for a fact, because I was recruiting, I had never met that person. I knew who they were, but I had never met them. And they were walking towards me like we were friends, and we had never met. And that's because I had sent out, hey, how you doing? Oh my gosh, I get your emails. They're so helpful. I read them. Thank you so much. I had never met that person. So the power of video, and we think about that one kid that was at EXP for 2 years that just started making videos and then crushed it in 2 years. You want to crush your business? Make video today.
Yeah. Well, and Jessica Baskey is great at it, right? So she's taught a class on it. Guys, here's the thing I heard yesterday too. The standard of the team, the standard. You ready? Here's the standard of their team. You don't word text the consumer when you first meet them. You send them a video introduction. It's the standard. So I said to him, I said, what happens if people don't follow the standard? He says, then that's okay. They decided not to be on the team. That's and somebody mentioned, and I'm going to go back on track here. Somebody mentioned, what kind of culture do you have? He goes, you know what? Culture is just kind of so different meaning in the different lives and different people. It's about core values. It comes down to core values, right? So these companies that say, we got culture. Yes, you sure do. We all have culture. But what's your culture? The culture of not sharing, the culture of talking behind someone's back, the culture of gossiping. What is your culture, right? So what's your core values? Work on your core values. When you work on your core values and you dig into your core values, that's who you surround yourself around. That was pretty impressive yesterday when he was talking about that. So yeah, definitely video. So I've personally been doing a little bit better on, I send out, if your birthday was recently or in the last couple, whatever, you probably got to, if it came up where I knew it was your birthday, I probably sent you a little short video. Deb, did you get one from me? It was happy birthday. I sang and then I stopped because I didn't want to hurt your ears.
Yes,
right?
yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm not comfortable recording a video of myself. I don't even like recordings of me when I'm doing something when someone else is doing it, but I'm going to get over it. By the way, my VA told me you need to do YouTube, Tom. I'm like, I'm not doing YouTube because that's not how I present. And he goes, no, you need to do YouTube. So anything I'm going to start doing is going to go to YouTube. He's going to put it up there and everything else. So there's already a couple things up there. I did a class on some things. So if you want to go to the YouTube channel, I think it's just my name, Tom Martin. So anyway, so the third procrastination thing is people don't want to distribute a weekly newsletter to their database. Now, the weekly newsletter, if you haven't seen Vito LaBallestra's newsletter, you're missing out. Now, he sends that out monthly, but Vito LaBallestra, he's with our group. He's in South Florida. He has the best newsletter I've ever seen, guys. And he spends time to do it. It's not a lot of time. He said it takes him 10, 15 minutes at max. It's personalized to him and his family and his production, but everything else is a generic thing. Or you're not doing a newsletter because you don't look for, you're looking for the easy button one. Where do I say, oh, there's a newsletter, let's go out, and you don't even know what it says. Let's get ChatGPT to do a newsletter for us, but it's not yourself. It's like videotaping and cleaning yourself up to the person you don't even, like Debbie said, when you go in front of someone, they don't recognize you, right? It's the kind of those photos that we used to take a long time ago. Some people, the glamour shots. So I'm not kidding you. There's a lady in New Smyrna, and if you're from our area, you know who I'm talking about. Her name's Pat Collado. Her glamour shot from the 1980s is still out there. She's got to be in her 70s, and you wouldn't recognize her. You wouldn't even know who she is. Seriously. That's on her business card. It's almost like misrepresentation. Because when this person comes up and it's like, that's not the person I thought I was having come to meet me. So, newsletters. Embedded, having messages of some kind of action, right? Producing video content is number 4. We just dug into this. And geographic farming in your area. Oh, well, you know, I don't want my neighbors to think I'm bugging them. Well, can you give me your community and I'll send out stuff to them weekly so I can get the listings and not you? How would that make you feel? Well, I don't want to farm my area because, you know, I don't want them. Who cares? Send out a monthly postcard. You got EXP marketing. Go down there, go to EXP marketing, send it out, upload the data of the addresses, send it out. You got 100 addresses. It's costing you about $80. 4th of July is coming up. Happy 4th of July, you know, hurricane season. Here's a checklist. I don't send something out. If not, stop crying that your neighbor's listing with your best friend. I don't know. Checking in with past clients. The biggest thing that we miss out on, I think the stats of National Association of Realtors says 87% of buyers that want to sell have never heard from their agent again. It's high, guys. You have to stay in contact with every buyer because they become a seller. That's called building a business. That's called building a pipeline. The average person moves anywhere between 7 and 10 years in Florida. I think it's less because there's a lot of relocation. Guys, you are missing opportunities. Those of you who are sold to a lot of buyers in the last 10 years, if you don't reach out to them, you're missing opportunities. They are going to sell, and they're not going to sell with you because they don't even know who you are. Here's a good one. And this is what I used to do. I don't know. Some people said I was really, it was unethical, but it's not unethical to do this, guys. It's not. So for every buyer every seller I represented, there was a realtor who represented the buyer. Right? Guess what I used to send that buyer that is now a homeowner? Congratulations on your new home purchase. The sellers that love this place, and here's some of the things I loved about it, blah, blah, blah. And guess what they would get monthly? They were in my database. You can call it unethical if you want, but it's not. It's not. Because I know that other realtor's not going to stay in contact with them. Now, if it was someone that I was heavily in business with, that has been around for a while, I may not do that too. It depends on the individual. But then again, it's not hurting to have them in your database, guys. It's not hurting to send them a postcard. I get postcards from, I don't know, probably 10 different realtors every single month to my house. I don't get mad about it at all. Matter of fact, one of our neighbors listed their property with one of the people that sent out a postcard. I said, oh, God, how did you meet the agent? Oh, I got one of their postcards. I totally forgot about you, Tom. I'm like, fantastic. Good. I hope they do a good job. If it doesn't work out, let me know. I'm not going to badmouth them either. So adopt and orphan clients. So another thing I used to do that would make people very uncomfortable is every time I showed a buyer a home, I would leave the seller a note on a business card. On the backside, it had notes. I would say the buyer really enjoyed seeing your home. They thought it was priced effectively. And I know you'll sell this quickly. All right. So I used to, actually, it wasn't the business card. I had like one of those things that like you just peel it off and you can stick it either on the fridge or the counter. You got your information on there. You're not doing anything unethical. Guess what happens? A large majority of sellers will end up with a broken relationship with the agent, and they'll probably go, oh my gosh, that was a great note. You got to think outside the box. You got to stop procrastinating. See, procrastination right now will put you back into the job field you left to come into real estate full time. Too many people are looking for jobs right now. And I say to them all the time, what's that career path going to pay? Oh, it's going to pay $50,000. Okay. That's fantastic. If you could get 5 sales, would that make up for the whole 50? Yeah, but this is job security. I said, you know what? Real estate is job security too, if you do the work. Right? But here's the other thing too, and I know this for a fact. A lot of agents do better on a team because they have the team as their collaboration. and their validation. So if you are struggling, get on a team, but don't complain about their splits and don't complain about their expectations, because it's only to make you better. So procrastination is one that when I seen that come up on Inman, I'm like, ah, there it is. That's our call for today, because we know we all procrastinate. We all do. I do. You guys do. I asked my wife. She had a light fixture sitting in the front for almost 2 years. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it, honey. Yeah, I'll get to it, honey. Yeah, I'll get to it, honey. Procrastination. So we all have it, right? We have it in our business. We have it in our relationships. We have it all the time. But if you just do it, procrastination on our health, procrastination on going to the gym. I don't feel good today. My legs are hurting from doing legs the day before. I'm just going to skip today. Yeah, skip today, and then you'll skip tomorrow. And then before you know it, you skipped in the whole time. So you're not getting the results that you want. You will get results, but it's not the results you want. So that's my thing on procrastination. Debbie, you dug into me, and I want to thank you for that, because if I'm here telling you something and I'm not taking action and implementing myself, then that's poor.
I just think that procrastination can sometimes be poor planning, and I'm guilty. Hi, my name's Debbie. I get sucked into procrastination all the time. And I just recognized, Tom, that when you said my commitment, that your commitment was on an end goal and not on a strategy. And so we all get stuck with that, right? And as a coach, I see it all the time. I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm going to make videos, and it's on my schedule. And then I meet with that client the next week and I say, how'd the video goes? And they go, oh, well, and so what I recognize as a coach is procrastination can sneak in when the thing we put on the calendar, like, here's a perfect example. I'm going to call 10 past clients this week. That's a great goal. Fantastic goal. Where's the list coming from? What's the action that you need? In other words, okay, it's going to be in my database. Great. Is your database organized? It is not. Okay, great. How are you going to choose the 10 people you're going to call? And what are you going to do if they don't answer? So where is the preparation list? Tom, I know that you use a dialer. If you use a dialer, that means you have to upload a list in advance before you can make the calls. So when I have a student that says, I'm going to make 10 calls this week, if I don't help them think out, where is the list coming from? And when are you prepping that list? It's easy to wake up to the time frame of, I'm making calls on Thursday at 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. I sit down and I go, I haven't planned who I'm going to call. So procrastination can show up as a lack of planning for the task. In other words, in order for me to make a call, I have to have a call list. So before Tuesday or Thursday at 10 o'clock, I've got to prep that list. So Monday night, 5 o'clock, before I leave my desk, I've got to strategize. By the way, if I'm going to talk to 10 people, I might have to have 30 people on my list because 2 of them aren't going to answer. So how do if I'm going to be successful at the thing that I said I wanted to do, what preparation has to happen for me to execute? And Tom, I just recognize that the video is there, but if you haven't prepped what you're going to say and set up a bullet point or maybe even a teleprompter the day before, that you may not have allotted enough time on your video recording time to prep, write, record the video. So it's sometimes our procrastination isn't really procrastination. It's not planning for the task in order to accomplish that goal. And I just wanted to help all of us see that if you say, okay, this week I'm going to do video, that there's pre-planning that has to happen. And what you really should schedule is the pre-planning.
Yeah.
In order to record, I don't even need to record a video a week on my schedule. I need to have write a script, record a video, and edit a video on my calendar. The publishing is easy. That's hitting a button. But if I don't get the 3 things that need to be, I'm going to do an open house every week. Okay, I don't need to put that on my calendar. I need to put book it, plan it, meaning print out any printouts, or if I'm going to door knock, what day I'm going to do that. I need to get the preparation on the calendar, not the result.
Yeah.
Let me
So-
tell you, just Debbie, let me jump in here a second. Just so yesterday, I had a doctor's appointment. I did not plan on my calendar driving to the doctor's appointment and driving back from the doctor's appointment. And so I missed a call because I had a train. Okay. And if you're ever been to Lakeland, you sit in if you get in front of behind a train, you're stuck. So I just realized when you said that, I didn't have it on my calendar.
Lizette, got to get it on our calendar. And here's the other thing too, and I've talked too much, I'm going to mute in a second. When I'm setting a goal now, I'm not just interested in the goal, honestly. I'm looking at what's the standard and what's my commitment to it. Because if I don't put standards and a commitment aside to it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to. So, Lizette.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, no, just I realized too, I just started working on a team structure, as you know, and I just wanted to kind of add on to what you said a little bit earlier, that and now that I'm a team owner, once when I was a single agent, I would hear a lot of people complain about, oh, I have to share my commission and splits and all that. But one thing that people don't talk about is that they don't realize that the team owner is actually giving up part of that too, right? They're sharing their 50% or whatever that is for you to make money. I mean, it's a two-sided street, because sometimes at the beginning of a team, like in my case, you have to kind of willing to sacrifice in order for other people to make more money. So so the thing is that when you work in collaboration, you can build bigger and do more. And a lot of times what we're set, like, they know they need to be on a team. They know they need to support, but they're so set on making 100% or of it, and they're still broke. Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there, because some people might be thinking, oh, but they're so stuck on, well, I don't want to get on a team because of a split. But I do see now collaborating as a team that people produce better. People are more production. They're in a better state. They grow personally, health-wise. I mean, I've seen people on my team get through hurdles of things very personal in their life, working on a group setting, because we support each other. So I just wanted to share that.
That's a great point, Lizette. I love what you just said, because you're sacrificing part, not sacrificing, you're contributing part too, right? So any of you that have ever worked in a restaurant or a business, you don't go to the owner and say, I'm tired of getting paid X amount of dollars per month. I want 75% of your profit. Good luck to you. You don't do that. So why are you doing it to your team members? It gives you the right to go and tell your team member that's providing service structure, communication, collaboration, community, to go to them and go, I think I need a higher split. You sure do. Split. See ya. We're splitting. That's your split. Bye-bye.
And I want to know I wonder how many team owners, I would be that person. I don't want, I'd rather, like, even having an assistant, right? Let's say it gets down, like the market crash or something. I could see team owners even sacrificing their own income to help pay somebody's salary.
That's right. That happens. That's what leaders do. That's what leaders do. That's exactly, if they're contributing and they're doing everything they can, and it's just the reality of the market, but no victims in my neighborhood, in my community. Just not having it. So procrastination. Thank you, Deb, for joining in, Lizette. Liz, oh, there she is.
Hey, I was just gonna kind of comment on that too. Like, most people see like team leaders and they're like, oh, well, you're making all this money, but they don't realize that we are starting a team. Our own personal production goes down because we are so committed to your success, and it's more important than our own success. So I love that you guys brought that up because it's so true. Like when we are contributing and just so willing to help you guys, that we're taking money out of our own pockets, you know what I mean, to help you guys and to build your businesses, and you become a priority. So I think that was so, I think that was important that you brought that up, Liza, just to get people to understand that it's a two-way street. It's not.
You're muted. Liz, you're so right. Anyone on this call that is in, and would be interested in being on a team, you should reach out to some of the individuals on this call. Even if you're in, let's say you're in Orlando and you want to be part of a team that's excelling in, South Florida. You can be part of that team environment and collaboration and motivation and all that. And it could really benefit you because it's called expansion for the other partner. If I reached out to Liz and said, hey, Liz, I want to be on your team. Well, Tom, you live in New Smyrna Beach. I know you're expanding and you just didn't know it. I'm pushing you to expand. And now I want to be on your team. Right. So think about that, guys. There's opportunity, Deep has, I think he had mentioned one time, over 80% of his business is past clients and referrals. Imagine if Deep just started spreading his wings and going, hey, we're expanding. You know what? We got a lot of past clients in this city. So I'm looking for an agent down there who's in the area that can be part of our team. We're expanding, right? So push someone else to grow too by being on that team. Just because they're the leader of the team doesn't mean you're not leading also. So. And Liz's face is like, I was like, hey, Liz, I'm in New Smyrna and you're growing a team over here. You're doing expansion, So Kara did that for Tennessee, So she was getting a lot of business on the Tennessee-Alabama border, but she wasn't licensed there. So she found an agent and to be part of her team. So now the agent handles the business and she's a team member. So. All right. Anybody? You guys got 14 minutes and then I'm out at 9:30. Hi, Deep.
Tom, I'm glad that you're doing videos, but I was doing it perfectly and I fell off the, whatever you call it. And now just having this call today is going to put me back on the track. I'm already going to schedule something for next week. There's no ifs, no ands, no but. Script's ready. Everything's going to be ready by the time I'm ready to shoot. So I go there, shoot for 1 hour, and I'm done with 8, 9 different videos. So thanks for doing that.
Awesome, Deep. Thank you for that. Hey, guys, just so you know, if you're in, no matter what location you're in or what state you're in, a lot of the title companies are so agent centric because that's where they get their business from. They'll have like a little studio set up in their office for you to go and record. So, and it'll get more of a professional setting for you. So utilize your vendor partners also for that videoing, because they have all kinds of setups. I know they do, all throughout Florida with certain title companies. They have studios in their title companies for the agents to come and do filming, recording. Buddy of mine, he's a movie director. I'd love to get him on one of our calls on resilience, right? Because he was resilient. And his name's Mike Titus, Tiddes. And he worked for me in the bar business. And he was he graduated from UCF. And I remember talking to Mike and I said, hey, Mike, what's your dreams and your goals? He goes, I want to be a movie director. I'm like, holy cow, I never knew you were in, production. He goes, I'm an artist, but I love the movie industry. I said, so what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to be a movie director someday. I said, so why not now? He goes, well, I don't know where to start. I said, well, where do movie directors usually go? He goes to California. I said, so when are you leaving? He moved the next week. He got on a set. He did setup. He was doing their artwork. Now he's a movie director. All the Wayans brothers and other actors and actresses are always after him for movies. So I said to Mike, I said, how did you do your first one? He goes, Tom, it was the worst thing ever. He goes, it was horrible. The videoing and the editing and the setup was horrible. I said, what kept you going? He goes, the goal. The goal was to be at the Emmys and the walk the red carpet and all that stuff. And he did. And he did. So I'd love to get him on a call just on speaking on resilience and what the end goal is, because no matter what kind of business we're in, everything's just the same path, right? We're determined, we're committed, and we're going to do it. And trust me, he shared with me a lot of adversity going through that too, the challenges. And but by the way, guys, I made money when he bought his house. I made money when he sold his house. I made money when he bought his other house in LA. And when he sold it, I made money on that too. And then when he bought his house in Atlanta, I made money on that too. And then when his family started buying and selling, we made money on that too. But we weren't there. It was referrals. He calls me all the time. Hey, Tom, I need a referral. I need an agent, and I trust that you're going to get me the right one. So anyway, you gotta, even these professionals out there, they've struggled with video and photography and all that too, getting in front of the camera. So, and right now people are visual. They've always been visual, but there seems to be more of a connection through video. When you do a video introduction, at least they know who they're meeting, what you look like, what you sound like, and they become more comfortable right off the bat. Who just looked up Mike Titus, Tiddes? Debbie, did you? No. Yeah, he's he shared some of the stories with me when he was going for an award, and it was out in LA, and him and his wife, his wife just had a baby, and he's walking down the red carpet with his wife, and a real famous actress, and I couldn't name her name, and she goes, Mike, is that your wife? You could do better than that. He goes, you know what? I left. You know what? I left. My wife's more important than any kind of award, and I don't want to be surrounded by people like that. So I never went to another one. He goes, because that's some of the people that you're around. And so you do have to be, looking for your critics too. Your critics are going to be there, but it doesn't stop you from continuing moving forward. And if you like comedy shows, he wrote the script for 50 Shades of Grey. All the women that have watched that, I never watched it. I don't know. He wrote the book, the sequel, 50 Shades of Black, and did the movie on it. And it did extremely well. So anyway, love to get him on a call with us. Claire, I know you got a smile on your face. You're ready to say something, but you haven't hit your unmute button.
You know me, I enjoy the internalization when we're going inward to make those inside decisions of how Coach Debbie allowed us. It's not just about putting an event or a task on our calendar. It's what's the preparation, and don't we need to have that on there as well? It's kind of like what I put in the chat. And by the way, I did place in the chat all of the keynotes from the Inman article that you have been speaking to today. I
Okay.
put that multiple times in the chat, the whole article.
Awesome. Ruth, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on the call.
There's Ruth. Ruth works her butt off. I know that firsthand. I've had many conversations with her. We see what she's doing. You just put in the chat box. I'm thinking about a team, right? And here's a young lady who is pushing and pushing and pushing. One of the things I would say, Ruth, is I think you really need to reach out to Liz. I think you guys can have a lot in common. And maybe there's some advice on you starting your own team versus being on a team.
I was thinking about that, but I just don't know how to go about that around this area.
No, here's the thing. Doesn't matter what area you're in. It's about the people that you can be in contact with to help you thrive through it. So I would definitely reach out to Claire and Liz, because that's the dynamic duel that's been created around Liz there. So
When you say that they were in a team, it's not like their downline that they recruited and it's actual team that they're all splitting
correct.
they're splitting it and everything. Okay. But yeah, I would have to see, like I would love to know more, because I have thought about starting my own team, but I mean, I just barely started. I started last year.
But that's a good thing, Ruth. And we talked about coaching for you and everything else. It's like that bow and arrow effect, right? You're gonna take a couple steps back, all right? You pull them back, and then boom, you just shoot and go, right? And
Yeah.
so definitely reach out to them. And you got Debbie, who's helped grow massive teams, and Claire and many others on this call. Start digging for information and start gathering all that. Shannon, I see the hand up.
Hello. Yeah, I just was gonna say I'm well, this year will be 2 years in September as a new agent, but I've only ever worked on a team, and there are different structures to teams. For Ruth, I don't know how new agents even come in to real estate and not be on a team, because you feel like you're at the end of a fire hose of information just learning real estate, but having the backup and the support of someone. There are different types of teams and how they choose to structure it, and that's something you can discuss with any of these team leaders. I feel like it's been extremely beneficial to me, because I like the team camaraderie. I like knowing I can call someone. There's backup if you need it, if you can't get to a showing, if you have something come up with your family, or you're on vacation, or a doctor's appointment. The support is so much better, in my opinion, than being a single agent. There are many benefits, I believe, to it. And to me, it was worth doing the different splits, but that can look different on any team. So I'd say go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Shannon. Tech Bits.
Ruth, I'll pull a few people together and we'll have a very deep discussion around this, because as Tom said, there's so many different formats to teams. I don't have a team. I call myself a group, and I do that differently. But I think it is around support. It's around camaraderie. It's around people close to you. And sometimes it's even just people here that we just need help with. So I'll pull something together. In fact, you know what, Tom, we probably need to really dig into that discussion. I mean, really dig into it.
My issue is I feel like I just am branching out too much, because I've already, I can obviously, I can do it in terms of getting my stuff, getting the listings, getting the buyers. I know how to do that. I know how to do the work, and I'm able to get the numbers that I'm looking for. But it's like, if you want to go to the next level, that's where I'm trying to reach. So I'm trying to reach to the next level that I haven't reached before. So this year, I'm pretty much close to my goal that I have done with Tom. Last year, I reached it as well. So now I'm just thinking how will I be able to reach the other level by myself, or do I need to build a team?
I think we need to talk about the next first step, which is leverage. We talk about that. And leverage is the next step to bring you to, some sort of a team. I think those are the two steps we need to go through over the next couple of months. Tom, you disagree? You're muted, Tom.
Yes, I agree with you, Robert. See, there's when we go through growth patterns, right, we have breakthroughs, and the breakthroughs are breakdowns because we don't know what's next, right? It's systems, tools, models, and then people, which is our leverage, right? And then as we go to the next level, we have another breakdown to make another breakthrough. And majority of the time, it's more people, right? So you might be either at the systems, tools, and models where you're not utilizing certain systems, tools, and models effectively, or it's a leverage piece of either a TC or an executive assistant, something like that. There's a process. And if you skip the process, you cheat yourself. Don't go and hire a buyer's agent without having a TC or an assistant in place. Don't go and hire a lead listing agent unless you have a system in place, people in place. So your next leverage piece is either systems, tools, and models that you're not maybe utilizing right now, and then leverage for sure. That was right, Robert. There's no wrong, by the way. The only wrong is if you don't at least try it and make a mistake on doing it, right? Learn from the mistakes. Listen, I've hired a lot of staffing and really screwed that up. I've hired great people and I've hired bad people. Because I knew it all. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. I love them. They're great people. I'm going to hire them. And then I hire them, and then they're the worst headache and gossiper in the world. And so follow the process, hire slow, fire fast, but systems, tools, and models are key.
Tom, I have to hold you accountable right now. It's 9:30. Bye.
See ya.
Go ahead, Alethea.
Good morning, guys. I did just want to take the time, since we are discussing these teams. We have a new agent, Jamila, who has joined my line, an EXP family. She is a very new agent. And we've actually been discussing teams and what they could bring and how they could help out, especially being new. I'm super happy about this call, guys, because yesterday's call was her first call, and what a way to get introduced to the GPS group yesterday in the community. So that was awesome. So I just wanted to take this moment to just reach out to you guys that are on the call. Any of you, Liz, I know, Robert, you said you don't have a team, but anybody that has a team that is looking to add on a new agent, if maybe we could just put in your comments in the chat, and I can reach out to you guys and introduce you to Jamila and see if that would be a fit. Also, she's looking for a mentor. So vice versa, if you guys are a mentor, I would love for us to connect her with the GPS fam. Thanks, guys.
Reach out to DJ.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach Debbie.
Alethea, I'm not currently mentoring, but I will take her into one of my other programs.
Amazing. Thank you, Robert. I'll reach out to you. Yeah.